Yes, we have arrived, ladies and gentlemen. We have arrived. We have arrived. We have arrived. We have arrived. What's up, Barcode? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Right now, I'm just getting ready to see these first reactions. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm just waiting on the embargo. We're here in a minute, and there we go. All right. I will be doing a live out of the theater reaction tonight when the movie drops. So make sure you hit that like button and sub, because I'm seeing the movie tonight and I'm very excited for it. Dang it! It didn't update. It did not update. I know. Me too. Me too, man. Oh, we got 5. Let's go. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Like I said, we're going to be doing a live out of the theater reaction live stream tonight after seeing Superman. Right now, we are covering the reviews that drop in 9 minutes from Rotten Tomatoes, and we're going to see the Rotten Tomatoes score. Thank you, Barcode. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Like I said. And then we're going to have a guest today, too. So he should pop here in a minute. It's a long time coming for this guest to be on my show. All right, coolio. We are 6 minutes away from the embargo. Gotta keep reloading. 6 minutes away. What did they say? Huh. Like I said, once again, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Tonight, I'm going to be doing a live right out of the theater reaction to Superman. And right now, we are covering the review embargo, and we're waiting on it to drop in like 5 minutes. And a guest will be showing here in a minute. And I'm excited for him to be on here today. It's really exciting. We got one from Forbes. This Superman brings back the colorful visuals, the humor, the clever quips, and mindset of battle, light and hardness of the vintage comics. Scott Phillips from Forbes. That's one of them. Let me share my screen. I'll keep reloading. See right here. Forbes. This Superman will make you believe a dog can fly. Get all this junk out. Stop. Alright. We'll read this one from Forbes. Do you remember the tagline from Stop sharing. Sharing. There we go. Anyone see that? Alright, cool. Do you remember the tagline from for the 1970 edition, 78 edition of Superman starring Chris? Do you believe a man can fly? Me and my 9-year-old buddies left the theater. Gods looked so real. How did they do that? A magic movies. We went to see Mementos because there was no video, no DVDs, no Netflix. All it took to get hairs was neck on your neck was Christopher Reeve launching into the air with no terminal look. Okay, and turned out that I was 9 and not 56-year-old critic who beamed beside my cartoonish weightless CGI carnage for 20 years. Does this reboot from writer-director James Gunn rekindle my love of comic book movies? Not really. It's weighed down by a lot. I've been there, done that, but from the laughter and applause in my promotional screening, it clearly hit the mark for intended audiences. See, and that's all you need. That's all you need. Let me see if it is it. 1 minute away. That's all I needed to know with him. Alright. Embargo's dropping. Hope you're coming soon, so. There we go. Here we go. It is in 1 minute. Here we go. It is 3 o'clock, everyone. Embargoes are lifting. Come on, send reviews. Send reviews. Come on. Why is it? Why are they hiding the thing? It's like 3 o'clock now. All right, let's see. Let's see some YouTube reactions. Let's go JBS. Or we could do, I don't know. Let's do. Honestly, we could do. I don't know. Hoping he jumps in here for a minute. Um, let's try this. Never mind. It's a premiere, not a video. Okay. Real rejects. Okay, let's do this. What do they think? Alright. Let's see if it works. Alright. Let's see if we can do this. I make it look better. There we go. That's better. Okay.
We literally just got out of watching the newest Superman movie from director James Gunn. You might hear some music. There's this after party thing going on right now. Don't let my calm demeanor fool you. It is only because I am so confident in how I feel about this movie, and I want to let that calmness really convey what it is. Please leave a like on this video. Whoa, hey, who's that? Oh my God!
Look at the bird. It's a plane. It's Roxanne. It's Roxy Stryer.
Like Superman. Okay, where to begin with this? John, why don't you just give your first thoughts and impressions right now, please?
No, yeah, I was overjoyed.
Hold
watching
on.
This. I mean, this has all
We have a
the
guest.
different-
A long time coming. A long time coming. Hold on. Let me get this better. No. You know, I'm going to take this off for now. There he is.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my goodness. That just Joe. You're here, man. I'm so
Nice.
excited.
Nice to finally speak to you, Derps.
Yes. I'm just been covering reviews at the moment. I don't think Rotten Tomatoes has dropped their score yet, but I'm keep looking.
Nice.
Have you seen any of the reactions or any of
I have,
reviews?
yeah. I've seen a lot of the influencer reviews, and it's sounding good. It's sounding good. Like I was a bit concerned because there was someone broke the embargo early, one of the news
Yeah.
agents, and it didn't. It was like, oh, this is a bit concerning. But also, was it from the viewing of the first 30 minutes, or do you know what I mean? Like, and
Right.
I was like, wasn't quite sure. But the reactions I've seen today have been really positive.
I only worry about the channels I watch, and everyone that I've watched has said it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm so happy, and it sounds like it's what I've been expecting it to be like. Do you know what I mean? Like the film
Yeah.
overall, the tone and everything. So
See, the kitty has an opinion too.
yeah, my cat. Yeah, he's had an operation recently, so he's a
Oh
bit.
no.
He's a bit screamy and everything at the moment, but I'm sure he's excited for Superman. Yeah, you are. You are. Yeah. But has the embargo been lifted now? I mean, what are the reviews that have been
Yes.
coming out?
I was just watching Real Rejects here in a minute. I don't know if you watched them.
I do.
I've heard
Yeah,
of
yeah.
They're good.
Mm.
I've been watching them since 2013, dude.
Whoa.
I've been with them like I'm an OG, so they were under 100K and I've been an OG, so.
Whoa, man, that's insane.
But do you want to watch that one or?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to. Yeah, can you put it up on here? Is it?
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Here's the kitty.
Hi, kitty.
Say hello to Derpy.
Can you see it? How are we looking on the screen?
I can see it. Yeah.
Hold on, let me see. There we go. Is that better? You want to do that one?
Yeah, that's fine as it is. Yeah. Perfect.
This one?
Yeah, whatever way you want, man. Whatever works for you.
That'll work. There we go.
Nice.
All right, let's watch it.
Let's do it.
I don't know if it's. Let me see if there's any you know what I mean. I don't want to get into that yet.
Yeah.
I think the first 10 minutes is that, and then I think they get into the.
Oh, okay.
You know what? And I don't want to.
Yeah. No worries.
Spoil it. All right. Here we go.
flavors I think that you could hope for from a Superman movie. Like, it's not just a fuddy-duddy, like, do-gooder story, but that obviously is a part of the character, and it represents it well. It represents the humanity of Superman and the debate of his presence here on Earth amongst us mere mortals. And David Corenswet is just so charming and so real as a guy who, yeah, we can all look up at, but who also feels like just a kid trying to make it through the day, trying to be
There
there
we
for
go.
his dog, trying to get to work, trying to be there for his love, his family, trying to be there for the people who need saving. And somehow, even with all these other characters and all this, you know, amalgamation of where the world is now, it never felt overwhelming. And it was a blast, but it was also heartfelt. I mean, how are you feeling?
I'll just say it. It's my favorite Superman movie I've
That's
ever seen.
bold,
You could
but I
accuse me
get
of
it.
recency bias.
Very
You could
bold.
say it's hyperbole. Call me a shill. I don't give a shit. I really feel like this is the best Superman movie. I'm gonna fucking cry again. I mean, right now.
I think I'm gonna cry,
I
man.
know I got a
Yeah.
reputation for being someone who's easily pulled to tears. But this was the first Superman movie that made me go like, I want to be a better person. You know. And
See, and there you
I feel
go.
often like with Superman, as even as great as like Christopher Reeve is, or as even like Tyler is in Superman and Lois, I really enjoy Man of Steel. Like I love so many of the Superman renditions. This was the first Superman movie that I actually felt inspired. It was the first one where like, yeah, they really captured the humanity of him in a way that feels like a true struggle, the vulnerability.
That's
of the
what I've been
Superman.
waiting for.
He
Yes.
That's what I've
feels
been
like a boy
waiting
from
for.
Kansas, trying to do his best, and also that's the thing is like a guy trying to do his best when everything seems to be pushing up against acceptance. He is trying his best all the time,
Every time.
and I felt like I identified with the struggle, and I really did feel like hope. It's like you hear about Superman, you think about hope, and this was the first time I really felt like I hope I can be a better person. It was so fucking weird. I've never
Right.
had this with a Superman movie, much less a comic book movie before.
Yeah.
And you hear that like trope about Superman. And
It's funny 'cause it
looking
sounds
David
like Greg is
Cornswet
saying
in
he's
the
an awful
script,
person.
From James Gunn, really
He's not an
captured it.
awful
I don't think
person.
it's like a 100%.
He's a good
there's-
dude.
If this was like
Yeah.
a 100% metric meter, I would say there's like 1 to 2% of things that I'm like, okay, maybe this could have dialed back a tiny bit.
Huh.
But that solid 98 to 99%
Right.
of this experience, I was so moved by from beginning to end. David Cornswet is my Superman. Undoubtedly,
That's all I
I've
need
never
to hear.
connected this much with a Superman in my entire life.
Absolutely. He really brings you into that idea of the good fight and the struggle that it is to keep that up. But he is so effortlessly charming and so effortlessly affable, and yet, you know, in the moments of intensity, he also carries that really well. And like this movie, there's a scene in the trailers that we've seen, you know, 100 times now, where, you know, he's having
He's
this
talking about the
interview
conversation.
with Lois,
Mm.
and it was about that point in the movie where I really started to kind of feel the awe set in of like, man, you know, you can have debates about the themes of this character, you can deconstruct the character, but you can still classically portray at least my understanding of the character in a way that matches the modern time, but that also doesn't feel like it has to, you know, kowtow to the whims of the now. And it is really rousing and sweeping and moving, and it does speak to that good nature within all of us to just want to try and support our fellow people. And the
I love how they're wearing the
rivalry,
capes.
you know, obviously with Lex Luthor is
That's
something
all I'm
that
gonna be
is
tonight.
really well
Fair
handled
enough.
in this movie, because I mean, Nicholas Hoult as well, like, hats off to that performance, and to, again, like, the ideological matchup that represents, his intellect, but also his devastating physical
I've heard I've heard a lot of things about this
that,
Lex.
you know, that brings in also
That
Yeah.
it's the most
sci-fi elements to
hated
the movie
Lex.
and whatnot, and just the whole
Lex
ensemble,
Luthor's
I
a
thought, really
character I really
fleshed
struggle
out
with,
this
like
world in a way
just
that
in general,
feels
just in the movies and
modern,
that. But it's good
obviously,
to
but also
hear that
like a
this
comic
might
book, but a fun
be the
way that I
winner.
don't feel like we've experienced
Yeah.
recently. And I mean, you know, obviously we've had the debate about gritty, realistic, down to earth superhero
Can you believe we're
movies.
here, dude?
And not that this movie never gets gritty,
So
but it really
weird.
does feel like
It's
a
so
living
weird. Like me,
comic, and
I
it
showed
really
up to your
does feel
channel
like it's got that quirk
randomly
and
and
that
just
esoterica
one night, and
and that
we
color
were discussing
without feeling
Superman,
silly or
and
goofy or,
and you
know,
put
Yeah.
on Max
kid-centric
Flesher,
or
right?
anything
Did you
that
put on
people
Max
seem to
Flesher?
be mowing
Yeah, you told us to put on
about a
Max Flesher,
Superman
and
story.
Yeah.
I remember that as a kid,
talking
actually,
about
weirdly.
comic, I read
Those
before
cartoons,
this in
and
the past
yeah,
couple
that's
weeks, I read
I don't know.
All-Star Superman.
That was
we
like
talk
2
about the
years
Flash.
ago.
Birthright.
Yeah, we
read
talked
Weren't
about
we?
the
for all
Flash.
seasons.
Yeah.
And thank you, Coy, for those recommendations. And
Coy's
James
a
Gunn
goat,
actually
too.
cited those
Mm.
movies.
Love Koi.
And Superman for all seasons is the comic that really captures. Superman Birthright's my personal favorite. This visually and tonally has a bit of that weird quirkiness that All-Star Superman has, that oddity.
Okay.
That might take people a little bit of adjusting to. And the thing that this really captures though is from Superman for All Seasons, where while this guy might be looked at as godlike alien, he's really a person who is the product of his upbringing from Jonathan and Martha Kent.
And that's what's been
performance
missing
resonates throughout all of David Cornsweet
with
and
all
the
the
way
with
he
all the
interacts with
versions that
everyone.
have come
His
before.
relationship with
We
Lois
have not
Lane,
seen that.
him and Rachel Brosnahan have incredible chemistry.
Reject Nation.
Oh,
would like
gotta
to
skip.
look
No,
at
no.
filming,
I
working
think that's
out, getting a
good.
new studio
I
on
think
the
that's good on
movie.
him. All right, let's find another one here. In
Good
a
old
minute.
Hugh. Yeah, I mean, it's what I hoped for. I mean, it's weird. It's like it's sort of. I know it's weird to say, but like the Joel Schumacher Batman films,
Right.
like they're really colorful and vibrant and poppy and everything. It feels like Gunn has done that with Superman, but not fully to that extent. Do you know what I mean? He's brought the lightness and the funness back to it.
You got a score, I think. Whoa! We got 55 reviews, but look at this score, dude.
Oh, let's have a
Wait,
look.
look,
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Big drum roll.
Oh, whoa, okay.
91
91. No
with 55
way.
reviews so far.
Whoa. Okay. Okay, that's good. Good start.
That is a good start. That's a heck of a start, even though it's
That's-
55 reviews.
That's a heck of a start, man.
I said the 80 range, but I didn't think it 91 at the start.
I didn't think 91 either. No way. That's insane.
Let's see if there's any reviews down here. I just looked up Forbes. I don't know if you were listening here a minute ago. Here's Rolling Stone. You want to look Rolling Stone, or do you want to look at the bad ones?
Yeah, I do. Rolling Stone.
Okay, I'll start up the small one. And Gunn's stamp on this mythology and his use of his instinct as a statement of intent for where he wants to take things is this larger intellectual property universe is largely a blast.
That's good. So it's fun.
Let me see.
So it sounds like it's a good,
USA Today.
it's a good first chapter in the DCU, definitely.
USA Today. The movie features persuasive positivity and one really cool, is it canon?
Canine?
Canine and bright comic book aesthetic. And while this fresh superhero landscape is extremely busy and a little bit familiar, it also feels livid and electric.
That's good. So it's very much not our world, but it's one that you can imagine living in.
Right, which is what we've always wanted.
Yeah.
As a Superman film. Because what I've heard is that they're comparing it to Superman the Animated Series. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I had Justice League Unlimited as well.
Really?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay. Okay. Should I do Scott Manzel?
Yeah.
Okay. Superman feels. I give it a 6 out of 10. Dang, Scott.
Come on, Scott.
Superman feels like James Gunn tossed all his previous films into a blender along with several decades worth of Superman comics and cartoons films. Thank you. Thank you. And the end result, even though he says this is, and the end result is a chaotic, overstuffed mess, somehow still manages to refreshingly fun. I don't care. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know, Joe. If it's overstuffed with 70 Superman comics and cartoons and this is the Superman film we've always wanted.
Perfect.
Let me see. Rebecca Murray says Devin Cortset is the best Superman since Christopher Reeve.
Oh, bold.
This is a Superman movie unlike any of you seen before. By the end, you'll believe that James Gunn DCU can fly. Cameron Fro from Dextro? I think something. Review. Let me see all these reviews. Toronto, New York Post. Johnny Olinsky. What's best about Gunn's movie is the laser focused on relatable characters. This is no puzzle piece in a universe or a loud series of action set pieces.
Mm,
That's a top
Sounds-
critic. Toronto Star didn't like this one.
oof.
He's a top critic. Peter Howe. Writer director Gunn is brilliant at conjuring spectacle and creating alien realms. What Gunn is not so great at is storytelling. Superman is all over the place. Not just geographically, but also narratively.
Mm.
That sounds a little biased, but that's just me. Um, let's see. Nick Johnston. A
Mm.
spectacle, genuine superhero heroics rather than empty punching and bashing.
Nice.
Okay. We have a top critic here from a UK Daily Telegraph. Not a big one.
Yeah, a very big one. Yeah.
The Times from the UK didn't like it.
Oof.
In a genre of infamous, or how do you say that? Feints
Feints and
and
teasers.
teases. Guns kitchen sink. What? Approach feels professionally generous and is an excitement for the character shines
So
through.
I think what he means by kitchen sink is, like you say, kitchen sink drama. So it's very grounded, like the sort of emotional sort of journey. So like it
Okay.
feels like real life, basically, in
Okay.
terms of like the character's emotions and that. So that's a good one.
That's a good. Okay, that's a good one. Spencer Perry, comicbook.com.
That's
What
a
makes
big one.
Superman? What makes Superman work in the same thing that has made Gunn's others adaptations so beloved as a filmmaker? Gunn is unafraid to embrace the comic book elements as the heart of the source material. Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you. That's a good one.
That is it. Let's see what the Times has to say.
Let's see what the Times had to say. You're UK. Read this one.
Okay. Gunn approaches the nerdosphere's most celebrated property like a giddy amnesiac who has missed the oh my god, it's so confusing. The precipice rise and fall of multi-character Marvel superhero movies and is instead stuck somewhere in the early 2010s. Ooh, controversial. So he's basically saying this feels like a movie that was made in 2010 basically. Damn. Who else we got? Julian Roman, Movie
Yeah.
Web. I used to love Movie Web. I used to go on it all the time.
IGN gave it an 8.
An 8?
Yeah, IGN gave it an 8.
No way.
look it up. I swear. I'm gonna
have a look.
retweet it. Hold on.
Look it up.
I swear.
Where is it? Oh yeah. IGN given. Wow.
Look right here.
Looking.
I just reposted it.
Oh, nice. Let's go to your channel. Damn.
They gave it an 8. Let's go. We're back. We're back, Joe.
Superman. Can I read this one?
Yeah, you can read that one.
Yeah,
nobody respects IGN anymore, but this is surprising to everyone.
Yeah, so from IGN, 8, which is great. Superman is a wonderfully entertaining, heartfelt cinematic reset for the Man of Steel and a great new start for the DC universe on the big screen. Director and DCU maestro James Gunn throws a lot at us here and trusts that decades of practice watching superhero movies will carry us through any storytelling corners he's cutting. Wow.
Dude, let's go, Joe. That's a dub. That's a dub.
Yeah, that's insane.
I can't believe it. This is looking pretty good.
So, someone wrote you gave She-Hulk an 8.
That's true.
We'll skip past it though.
Yeah. Now it's dropped to an 87.
It's dropped to 87. It's gonna keep fluctuating throughout the next 24 hours, isn't it? Like, it's so weird though, because what time are you seeing it? How many hours until you go and see it?
I see it in 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Wow. Okay. What are you seeing it at?
No, not 3 hours, 30 minutes. 2 hours and 30. Wait, what time is it now? 2 hours and 30 minutes.
2 hours 30 minutes. So
because it's no, I take that back. I'm trying to figure out 7 right? So that would be 3 hours and 30 minutes.
3 hours 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you seeing it in IMAX or
No,
3D?
no, we have a Cinemark. I don't know if you heard of Cinemark.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I'm gonna see it in XD, which is their version of IMAX.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it has like premium chairs and then basically like a big huge screen, kind of like IMAX.
Is it packed? Your viewing?
Yes. Hold on,
Nice.
let me pull it up.
It's So I'm seeing it at the IMAX in Wales. But it's like a digital IMAX basically, but it's one of the biggest screens in Wales, and the screening's completely packed. I'm not seeing it till 7:30 p.m. on the 11th though.
Oh, Joe, no.
Yeah. So but that literally everyone is going at that time because everyone's like working and everything up until the Friday. But literally the cinema's packed, and like a lot of my friends who are into this sort of stuff are going to that same screening. But
There you go.
so it's going to be massive.
I know. All right, let me see. Let me go back to the main screen real quick. Superman's at 891 still. It says 91, but
Okay.
55 reviews. Maybe it's crashing, 86. There we go.
86 with 87 reviews.
Yeah. That's what I expected.
Yeah. Oh, they've done
Even
the
if
tomato.
even if it's a 70, that's still a dub for them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, they've done the tomato
depends-
meter
it de-
video, and
It
it says
depends
90.
on the it depends on the it really depends on the audience score more than the critic score.
I mean, yeah, that's the biggest thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also, there'll be some unhappy Snyder fans.
Right.
Oh dear,
I can't believe we're here, man.
it's so weird, isn't it? It's just like
It
but it
went
has
like
taken
that.
a long time. But it has taken a long time, hasn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
still remember James Gunn saying, "Yeah, Henry Cavill's not coming back." By the way, I felt
Yeah,
so
I remember
bad for
when
him.
Corn Sweat was casted. You
Yeah,
remember when Corn Sweat was casted like 2 years ago?
yeah, and I didn't want
Mm.
Rachel Brosnahan. I wanted the other girl who's in loads of shows over here. But to be honest, Rachel Brosnahan is the perfect fit. Like she
Right.
is after seeing the footage and everything. Like, but I wanted someone else. But no, yeah, I still remember the casting because they literally started shooting like what 3 months later. Like it was so quick the turnaround.
Let me see. 86. It was 91, but now it's an 86. So that's still a dub.
Yeah, man, it's gonna fluctuate all for the next few days. Like it's gonna be all over the place. But it's so weird that
It is
Not being-
weird.
yeah, it's just so weird, isn't it?
Entertainment Weekly. Here we go.
Hmm.
That's a big one. Gun gives Crypto all the cute, frustrating traits of the best man's best friends, furthering Superman's compassion in the film's playfulness.
Yeah, I do think Crypto helps with that, doesn't he?
Yeah. Something quite rare. This is Associated Press, which I don't know if that's a big one. Something quite rare in the assembly line style of a superhero movie making today human.
Mm. Sorry, cryptic.
Yeah. New York Post. We already read that one. Screen Rant. Here we go.
Hmm.
James Gunn's Superman launches the DC universe in a spectacular fashion with a fun-filled romp that requires refreshingly little homework.
Great. I mean, I've said in the past, like I'm not the biggest Superman fan in the world. Like I'm not. Like if anything, I sort of dislike Superman. I made a video about it. Go check it out on the channel. But
Joe,
oh what?
the Mary Sue gave it a positive review.
Oh no.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. There is so much to love in this movie that even when there is a lot all happening at once, you never are left in the dark. That's the main thing I've been hearing, by the way, is like it's like non-stop. Like it's non-stop, which is great.
Good.
You want to be entertained, don't you?
Yes. Let me see. Did you see the teaser of the Odyssey, dude?
I saw it. I went to see Jurassic World with my mate, and weirdly, it was just a normal cinema, so it wasn't IMAX or anything because Jurassic World's
Right.
not in IMAX. And the Odyssey trailer came up, and I was literally like, "Oh wow!" Because it literally said "Syncope," and I turned to my mate and I went, "Oh my god, it's the Odyssey!" I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I couldn't believe it. But again, it didn't show much, but it's
It
just
didn't.
got that. It's got
But
that
that's what's all
Christopher
you need.
Nolan feeling, hasn't it? To
Right.
get you excited. So yeah, no, really looking forward to it.
What do you think about Jurassic Park? Jurassic World.
I'm not a massive Jurassic fan anyway, but I do enjoy the first film, obviously, as a classic. And I went to see I went to see Dominion with my mate, and it was I'd seen the first Jurassic World, I hadn't seen the second one, and then I went to watch Dominion with him, and I was a bit like, and he's a massive Jurassic Park fan, but we went to see Rebirth recently, and I just went like everything's kind of like, oh, it's lucky that was there to do this and everything. Like
Right.
it was just a lot of that. Yeah, but it's making money. It's making money.
It is making money.
They're
Everyone
never
left
going to stop making these films, man. They'll never stop.
I walked out of the first 20 minutes.
Of the new one?
Yeah.
What point did you get to?
I got to them where they were like on getting ready on the boat or something, and like they were meeting up.
Oh yeah.
And it just because the reason behind it just made me like, that's how you're gonna start this story, and the way that the reason also another reason was like a Snicker bar wrapper. You gotta be kidding me.
Don't. It's just like what?
I'm like, that's what made it made me walk out. Like I was like over it, dude. I was over it. I mean, I was optimistic too, and I was like, I should have seen F1.
Oh, I should have seen F1. I wish I went to see it. But to be honest, like after that boat bit, there's a really cool sequence with the boat. So there's great sequences, but once you get back into the story, a bit like I'm not convinced. Like, do you know what I mean? So great sequences, and I think the film is shot beautifully. But again, just the story is it's just the same thing every time, apart from the Snickers wrapper. It's just the same thing every time, man. It's just like, come on, like let's do something new. I don't know. I think they should just give the franchise a rest. I really do.
It's still sticking at 86.
Was it 87? Yeah.
Which honestly, dude, and now it's 87. That is a dub for WB. No pun intended.
Superman. Was that what last one? Superman Delivers. That review I just saw.
Let me see. That one, AV Club.
Superman delivers a simple, potent message. You don't need X-ray vision to see people as people.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's really good.
I think the review of the day though is IGN giving it an 8.
That's like I'm in disbelief at that, to be honest.
Absolute it depends it depends really because they switch reviewers. It depends on who watches it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
they don't have any respectable anymore. Like all the OGs left.
I mean, after those, the video game. I remember the video game reviews were really handy, but
yeah,
the movie reviews are just like awful.
Yeah,
like really weird. But yeah, no, it's a weird one. I've just seen Discussing Film. David Corenswet cements himself as this generation's definitive Superman, carrying his signature Boy Scout charm on perfect display in an incredible performance.
There we go. That's all we need.
That's all we need. That's what I want. A charming Superman. That's what I want. Jokey Superman a little bit.
Who's Dana? We're watching what? I don't know. That's a YouTube channel, I think.
Oh, is it?
I think it is. Let me see. Yep. It's a YouTube channel.
All right.
Read that one, Joe.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, Dana and...
Oh, yeah. Dana Hincklin. A good film elevated to great by its release timing. Superman can feel antiquated, but living in our darkest timeline has re-illuminated the need for hopeful heroes. Gunn brings his signature humor and tries to balance it off unevenly with earnestness.
Okay,
Okay,
so
that's good.
that's what I'm looking for, like the balance of and tone.
Yeah.
Because when I seen Guardians, Joe,
Hmm.
I Guardians 3, not 2 or 1. When I seen the third one, and there was like a balance of, like, you know how Rocket Raccoon got like tortured and all that in that film,
Yeah.
and then James Gunn just lighthearted it uh, later on in the film, and you felt for the character, and you felt, you know what I mean, like it was
Yeah.
like the balance of tones, and that's what you want, is a balance of tones.
Yeah, he's really good at it. I did not expect to be like so emotional watching the third one, but also it still has that humor and that sense of adventure and everything. He's really good at it, and it feels all very natural, doesn't it? Like how
Yeah.
he does the stories and everything. Like I to be honest, when it was announced Gunn was gonna do Superman, there was a little bit of me that was a bit like, oh, I'm not
Oh,
sure. I'm not sure. But again, not being the biggest Superman fan in the world, I was like, I'll just give him a chance. And then you start hearing bits and pieces and what it's based on, and I was just like, oh, okay, I think he gets it, because I love the Suicide Squad. I
I
really
loved it
like that
too.
film. And I think the whole crew that worked on that did a really stellar job. And I think James Gunn, if you don't mind me saying, has some balls going, oh no, I won't do
Oh,
Superman, I'll do Suicide Squad. And I think Warner Brothers were really confused. They were like, wait, what? And he did it. And even though it was during COVID, I think the film is well remembered, and I definitely rewatch it now and again.
oh, Koi released his video. We're watching
Koi.
it. We're
Oh.
watching it.
Yeah, but Koi watched it like 2 months ago. Come on.
That is true. That is true.
He's probably in the
But he's the
film.
goat. But he's the goat. You can't deny it.
He is the goat, and he has the goatee. So yeah, no, he's definitely.
Well, film stock doesn't. I don't know if you know film stocked.
I don't know actually.
Maybe by picture. Maybe. Oh, Chris. Oh, here we go.
Hmm.
Jeremy Johns.
Oh,
You want to watch that one?
yeah, do it. Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. I gotta transfer over here. All right, YouTube. Share. Jeremy Johns. I'm hoping this isn't like spoiler though.
He's pretty good at not spoiling that.
Your favorite TV shows are on YouTube.
Oh,
Enjoy the
3C
latest
Films got
releases.
into it too. I don't know if you've seen that. You know, Chris.
Superman's back to bring
Oh.
us that theatrical experience. Speaking of theatrical experience, I want to thank the sponsor of this
Nobody
video, because
cares.
12 to the actual movie.
Nobody cares about your
You
sponsor.
and your friends. No one there to disturb. Grand opening will be.
I think if you have adverts at the beginning of your video,
Like the
you shouldn't
Superman
have
theme menu
adverts
that
in
you
your
have
video.
coming out. Then the curtain raises, the projector comes on, and you're watching your movie. You rent out the whole room,
Oh my
the
goodness.
whole auditorium with just you. And right
This is
now
the
you can
long.
That is a long intro. There we go. Superman.
So Superman's written and directed by James Gunn, stars Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, the leader of the Justice Gang in the DC universe. A kid. Kind of. Now the real star is the breakout performance of the little crusty white CGI dog named Crypto, as well as David Corenswet as Superman, in a movie kicking off his character in this universe, also kicking off a new DC universe. Now this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I'll probably do a spoiler video later on, Friday-ish. But for now, spoiler-free, rest easy.
Hey, we're
And
good,
It's a
we're good,
Superman
Joe.
movie, so let's talk about
Fair
David Corenswet as Superman. I thought he was great as Superman. For me, the Superman of Superman, Christopher Reeve always has been, always will be. And I don't think they should have actually shown the clips they showed where Superman's yelling at his girlfriend, yelling at Lex Luthor. Not that Superman's not allowed to be pissed. I bring them up because in context in the movie, seeing it play out, I understood more than just these out of context clips. You do understand his frustration of, he's like, I don't see red tape. I don't see the politics here. I just want to stop people from dying and a war was going to break out. between totally not Israel and totally not Palestine. No. So yeah, they should probably choose their clips more wisely. That's all I'm saying. Also, what I'm saying is Corn Sweat was great. He's definitely a more relatable Superman, sometimes to a fault, because I don't feel like I should be like, yeah, I feel like Superman right now, because I mean, if someone took my dogs, I'd flip their desk over too. And I'd grab Lex Luthor and be like, start talking while you can, Luthor. Air's gonna start getting pretty thin pretty fast. Him being this more relatable Superman rather than maybe a father figure of sorts. I thought David Corn Sweat did really well, and the essence of him feeling like Superman didn't feel as lost as I was afraid it was going to. Rachel Brosnahan, I also felt was really good as Lois Lane. No surprise there. It's like when her casting was announced, it was like, makes sense. I think she's gonna be really good. They illustrate out the gate. She's the kind of reporter who doesn't trust, doesn't spin, and digs to find the actual truth rather than just what's being said. That's right, this comic book movie about metahumans and an alien baby who came to Earth from his home planet of Krypton, in which his home planet blew up. He was raised in Kansas, grew up to be Superman. The most unbelievable thing about that is that a reporter with that level of integrity works for mainstream media. Lex Luthor in this movie kind of disappointed me, but that's not because of Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult is doing his best. A lot of actors in this movie, is picking up the slack where the script is failing. When he's being an absolute bastard, he's fun to watch. But he too falls victim to the monster, that out-of-place James Gunn humor. It's kind of weird that although Lex Luthor is doing the puppet master thing, the twirly mustache bad guy in his command center, what I think of is the kaiju and some of the other baddies Superman has to fight. It feels like there's a case of identity crisis when it comes to Lex Luthor's motivation in this movie. You can either have the audience understand that through the character's actions, or you can have the character just monologue about it. The movie does the latter, before undercutting the emotional tone with that James Gunn humor. That James Gunn humor, the out-of-place James Gunn humor, not helping anything here. There are moments where you're like, oh yeah, feeling the or, you know, a joke, sure. Why though? Is James Gunn that afraid of letting the emotional moment settle, simmer, grip? Because so often in this movie, there's a moment that could genuinely be a great emotional moment. It's like James Gunn's like, no, we can't have it. People need to laugh at every scene. Doesn't matter if it doesn't fit or feels out of place. You know what? There is a great emotional moment in here where he let it happen. That's nice. I mean, glad to have an exception to the rule. The Justice Gang in this Superman movie, absolutely James Gunn's comfort zone. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, he absolutely sells it. And the James Gunn humor can happen there. It's a mix between the actor and the character in which you can funnel humor like that through him, and it doesn't feel out of context. But not everyone in a movie, especially a Superman movie, is supposed to be the comic relief character. Comic relief, humor, it all has its place, but don't compromise the world for it. I mean, well, the world of the movie, that is. And oddly, it struck me, the plot points and beats in this movie, you've seen before in other Superman stories. I'm not talking pulled from the comic books. You've seen them on screen. One's from Smallville. I was like, that's Smallville. Just like the Superman-ish moments that I liked, contrasted by the humor that completely wiped, if not destroyed, the emotional resonance of the scene. In terms of the visuals, some of the CGI looked clean, yes, but it worked for the movie, for the overall vibe of the film. Other times it was doing these sweeping panning shots among these action sequences. Screen almost looked jittery to the point where it's like, yeah, that feels fake. Lex Luthor walking by robots getting destroyed right by his head, debris flying right by him, he doesn't even flinch. That's not badass, that's stupid. And you can't help the limbic response but flinch in some way, shape, or form. The point of me bringing it up now when I'm talking about CGI is it just doesn't feel real. It feels CGI, it feels green screen. On the other hand though, there were shots in here you look at and you're like, that feels like Superman. That's amazing. It looks like it's out of a comic book cell. And I was bothered by the lack of Clark Kent. Granted, where Superman is
I've heard
in his
that
life,
he's not really in the movie that much.
no real need. Regardless
Who
of where
isn't,
a lot
sorry?
of superhero
What did he
films
say?
have gone, in which
Clark
a lot of
isn't.
superheroes don't have that secret identity element anymore. It's a thing that some have, but not as many. But I've always enjoyed the contrast between the superhero and the alter ego, and Superman's Well, if you've watched Kill Bill, you know why that's just particularly interesting. Kill Bill Volume 2, that is. It's all one movie, so whatever. But him as Clark Kent, he doesn't really hide it. He doesn't try to not act like Superman. He's other than the haircut that looks like he's about to do prank videos at Home Depot for TikTok. And the glasses.
Oh my
he's
God.
Superman with broccoli hair and glasses. He's not really trying to hide it. You can tell James Gunn was like, Clark Kent's not really a big part of this movie. Just be Superman with glasses. There's also tech in this movie I feel like is MacGuffin tech. It's the super advanced tech. Maybe it's because metas have been around for as long as they've been around in this universe. But the point is, there's this ridiculously advanced tech in this world, and we're just kind of supposed to buy it. But the tech clearly only exists so the last act can have a problem that Superman has to deal with. Another thing Superman has to deal with, another thing cluttering up this movie. This is absolutely a Superman movie for a whole new generation. Superman taking on his greatest threat ever. Social media. Look, in the end, there's nothing hidden here. There are no surprises. I'm not just talking about the fact that this movie's shockingly predictable. I'm saying whatever your mindset is, if you have excitement or fear, the answer is yes. If you're like, oh man, James Gunn doing Superman, I'm a little concerned by that. I feel like there's going to be conflicting tone. Yes. Or if you're like, James Gunn doing Superman, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, I want to see him bring that energy to Superman. Yes. Like either way, you already know if you're going to like this or not. There's some enjoyment in this movie for sure, but a lot of the support characters just feel one-dimensional as hell. Guy Gardner was great. Mr. Terrific, he was cool. I just wish I knew more about him. Hawk Girl?
Well, it's a universe. You're gonna get to know more about him.
Is it you do
if
here?
it succeeds.
And that's the Justice Gang. And that out-of-place James Gunn humor just killed a lot more than it added to this movie. And it'd probably be a better time. If you're drunk. Yeah, what else?
Oh, wow.
All right, so Superman, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Probably haven't seen it yet. Or what's a character who showed you that being
I mean, fair
enough.
is the cool thing? I always liked
You didn't like it?
myself, but there was
Not
a
really.
character
No,
who I
it
was
didn't
like,
sound like it. Yeah.
yeah,
But he didn't slate it
being a
completely.
hero is
Which
awesome.
isn't a
Zach Fair, Crisis Core. Just wanted to be a hero. Whoever it is, whoever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.
Well, interesting. I mean, that was what I was concerned about when James Gunn was announced, was the conflicting tones and that. But to be honest, all the reviews we've been reading has just been like, no, it works.
yeah.
Like, so, no, I get Jeremy's stance though. Like, I get it. But maybe it's just, I think maybe Jeremy's watched more James Gunn stuff than I have. Probably.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out if there's Christians on here.
Oh, do you know John Roker?
John Roker.
Yeah, he did. He's the Outlaw Nation. He's called. I watch a lot of his videos. I think he's a bit like basically.
Stanley's on there.
Oh right, but he does like he's been talking about. He was like the lead up to Superman. He's like, guys, it might be bad, all right. So you got to calm down and everything. And then he did his out of theater reaction, which is one of the reviews I saw today, and he went, "I loved it." I was just like, there we go. I was like, that sells me because I think me and Roker are sort of the same, sort of like, oh, you know, but like with Superman, I've always been like, do you know
what's
what?
his name?
Oh,
The
Channel
Channel
Awesome.
You want to see what he said?
That's 40 minutes long.
Oh god.
Let's watch the opening actually. Let's watch the beginning and then
Because he does have some good openings.
Mm.
We have to stop.
Ah!
Ready?
Let's do it.
Oh wait, Superman trailer, fine.
We don't need to see it because we don't want to spoil.
We're at the very end. I just went, sheesh.
What would you say?
It's probably the first movie I saw where at the very end I just went, sheesh.
Oh,
This
no.
movie throws a lot at you. This is a lot to take in. And, brother, this is a James Gunn film, all right. And so much to unpack. So, if you see the trailers for this, or just the teaser, I should say, where he crashes into the snow and there comes
Oh, the
Crypto
spoilers?
dragging him, you know, to the Fortress of Solitude, all that. That's how the movie starts. Like,
Dang it. Never mind, we're not watching it. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Where's what's his name? I forget his name. He's live though right now. Not
John Campea?
no, not John. Christian something.
Oh, Christian
I forget
What's
his
his name?
name.
Wait a minute. I think I'm subscribed.
You had
Oh,
it-
Christian Harloff.
Yeah, right here. This is his theater reaction. There we go.
Oh, right. Yeah, nice.
How's it going, everybody? This is an out of the theater reaction.
No, thanks, I don't wanna become a
Superman.
member.
That's right. This is a social.
You already got like
so
a
the review embargo
199K.
drops in about 45 minutes, but I'm gonna give my out of the
We're
theater
less than
reactions with
maybe
just
like
my initial
100
social
maybe.
thoughts as I'm walking out of the theater. This is James Gunn, DC, the big return of Man of Steel, and the start of the DC universe. So, what did I think? It was really fun. It was a
There we
really
go.
fun
Okay, there we go.
comic book movie. This is the most comic accurate, I think, Superman movie that there's been made so far. My concern, as you saw in the trailer, what I was curious about was James Gunn's humor going to overpower this film? And the answer is surprisingly no, not at all.
Wow.
There's humor throughout it. There's humor in parts, but not so much that it's jarring. I'm like, oh, come on, why are they telling jokes there? The tone is consistent all the way around. And what the tone lets you know from the get-go, that we're dealing with a vulnerable Superman, though, but we're also dealing, again, as I said, in a comic-accurate world. There's big monsters, there's already metahumans, there's all this stuff. It's not like they're saying, wait a minute, how does this type of alien creature or this kind of monster exist here? This seems out of place. From the second they set up this universe, you know where you're at. And I was curious about how it was going to work with Crypto. I thought Crypto worked fine. They didn't overuse him. They used him in the right spots. And the chemistry between Clark and Lois definitely works between Brosnahan and Cornsweet. But the one thing I will say is there's not really a lot of Clark in this movie. This is Superman's story. This is Superman trying to
I don't mind that though.
trying to show what he really is about, the human side, what Superman's always been about, but it is what Superman's about, and that is hope. And that all comes across. There are some times that I thought there's a lot going on here. Lex Luthor, by the way, is the most pure evil Lex Luthor we probably have seen in these
That's
movies.
what I've heard.
But there were just, like I said, when the humor comes in, sometimes I said, oh, that didn't necessarily work. But again, it wasn't jarring. There is a ton going on. But once they focus in on the core aspect of Superman and who he is, what he wants to do, and the mission in general, the battle back and forth between Lex, the movie really works. So, did I enjoy it? Yes, I did. Am I excited to see where it goes forward with the DCU and what James Gunn has brought forward? Yes, I am. So, those are my initial thoughts walking out. I'll have a more kind of detailed, non-spoiler review probably tomorrow. But my out of the theater, that's it right now. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it. Actually, right now, as we speak, Roxy Stryer, who has seen the
Don't
movie,
care.
Oh,
you
Roxy's
for
part of the Real Rejects now, isn't she?
Yeah.
No, that's a good review.
Emergency Awesome. I don't know if you heard of Emergency Awesome.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. But what's can we watch Koi's?
Yes. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm
Internet,
interested.
hello, you absolute lovelies. I am just walking out of the very first screening of Superman. I have now seen the movie that for a year I have tirelessly worked on and talked about and promoted, having not seen the film, wondering what the experience would be to before and after the film, like what it would be like after seeing this movie, if I would feel those feelings of like, oh my god, a universe was just born, if I would feel those feelings of like, I've seen a comic book come to life, if I would feel the overwhelming joy of finally having the Superman movie I have waited my whole life for, and that is exactly, I'm so happy to report what I feel right now. I am kind of out of words. I'm kind of pure emotion. I'm overjoyed and ecstatic, and I honestly can't wait for other people to see this movie so I can really articulate it by sharing in moments with them. But I can safely say this is going to be a non-spoiler review to the best of my abilities with language. I'm going to struggle to articulate words because I am kind of emotionally raw right now. Like I speak for a living, and I am overwhelmed in a way
What
that
a
I did
nerd.
not expect. So
Yes.
this is gonna be non-spoilers.
We
If you're
love
new to this
it.
page, I cover comic books, I cover movies, I cover TV, read about 50 to 70 comics a week, and I review them all on this page, or my favorite 9 on this page in a weekly live stream, as well as movies and TV. And this has been one that kind of
better.
everything has led to. This is a movie I've talked about on Real Rejects on my page at DC Studios. This is not just professional, but personally something that I kind of have been gearing up 36 years for. I did not grow up on the Christopher Reeve Superman. I grew up on Superman comics. I did not grow up being someone that thought they could capture this feeling in movies, because I didn't feel that with, you know, certain superhero films being like this golden age energy and aura. And as a kid, I liked Batman so much more than Superman, and I thought Superman was cool,
Same.
but I didn't
Same.
understand the fundamentals. It took me growing up to really start to understand Superman. So this is a really special experience of adult me getting more out of this than I think kid me would have. And this is all of the things I loved about Smallville, but bigger, and with this budget and this scope and this scale, and with these actors that are the characters. David Cornsweet is Superman in a way that I can't even articulate. In talking to him and interviewing him, every time I have like 2 pages worth of an idea, he's able to summarize it in like 2 sentences. Like, when you can teach something, that's when you know it. And this man knows Superman because he is Superman. He is Clark Kent. He is this character. And fortunately, on screen, it translates times 100 feet, times 200 feet. It is so wonderful to experience this dude who I've gotten to talk to about Superman, who just gets it, and to see that translated, and to see Rachel Brosnahan, who literally studied the journalist side of things before the comic and movie side of things to find this role and find this character, is every bit the reporter you need Lois Lane to be, that you want Lois Lane to be. There are characters that steal your absolute heart. Skylar Gisondo is Jimmy Olsen in so many wonderful ways. When I do the spoiler review, I'm really excited to break down Jimmy Olsen and
I knew
how
he was
they
perfect
use
cast.
certain comic sensibilities
so
in
happy when he
practical
was cast.
real life sensibilities, and how that really made Beats work from the comics and from the tone in a way that I did not expect in this film. The scene stealer for me is the great, the one and only Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, who is a force, man. He is so terrific. He is,
No pun
the
intended.
T-spheres are exceptional. His
I'm looking
dialogue
forward
is
to seeing Mr.
perfect.
Terrific,
His-
'cause that was the
flavor he
first
adds,
tease
to some
we
of the
got with the
language and the
DCU.
energy he brings,
Right.
and the action. Everything Mr. Terrific is impeccable, and that is a character I have wanted to see on the big screen for quite some time. We've had adaptations, but the big screen, like, this is the character I wanted to see, and they nailed it. This movie is huge in scale and scope. It is the kaiju in the trailer makes sense because of how big this movie is. This movie is golden age in its tone and texture. It is big and grandiose in its themes. It is so Superman, I actually believe that it can help the world. It is so full of hope and wonder, and so full of joy, and in having faith in people, and it is so full of
That's it,
reverence
yeah.
for humanity. I actually think it can help people and culture and society. This is a before you see it movie and an after you see it movie. This is a movie where you'll remember the first time you watched it. This is a movie where you'll want to tell your friends, but also want to go with them again to see it again. This is hope incarnate, and it's so much more than that. It's goodness. It is altruism. It's Superman, man, and I didn't know if that would translate in 3D. I didn't know if that would translate in 2025. I didn't know if that would translate out of the pages of a comic book where you're directing and acting in between the panels, like you're kind of guiding
We're
the
back,
story. I didn't
too.
know if you could do that, this way,
I'ma
in this
cry.
format,
We're
and to
back.
see it done, to see it actualized, to see this crazy array of supporting characters and leading characters that are everyone from Metamorpho, who staggeringly works next to Guy Gardner, who is so specific in the line he walks of unlikable likability as Guy Gardner is. And man, I love the Engineer in a way that, like, I like the Authority, but the Authority is like a commentary on this world. So I was like, how is the Authority, who's, from a world that is a bit of a dialogue about this world, how's that going to blend immaculately? And then Nicholas frickin' Hoult. Let's talk about Nicholas Hoult. For years, Michael Rosenbaum has been my favorite Lex Luthor. He is cunning, he is intelligent, he is articulate, but most of all, he's passionate. Nicholas Hoult is absolutely coming from the Michael Rosenbaum school of Lex Luthor, and he is bringing the heat, man. Nicholas Hoult is incredible, whether he's a war boy, whether he's a warm body, whether he's, pining in Nosferatu. He's incredible, and he always brings passion. Here he brings that ferociously. Here you are so enamored with this character, you almost understand where he's coming from, and that is so important with Lex Luthor. You don't root, you don't understand enough to really like, this is where I'm at, but you go, man, I see where he's at. I see where he's coming from. And that is so incredible. Now, this is a movie that mainly has been advertised the first act of. There are moments in the third act that sprinkled from the trailers, but mainly the first act. And I'll admit, the first act, I was like, oh no, I've seen this movie. And then luckily that was intentional. They kept it to the first act in the trailer. So by the time you get going, you are smiling throughout. You're leaping out of your seat. You're joyous. And the actual plot has been largely kept under wraps. There are so many twists and turns and surprises and comic moments and bits of joy that I was not expecting. And to be honest, reading the comics, it does enhance it, but you don't have to. As I said at the top, this is the most comic booky movie for comic fans and non-comic fans alike. This is something that you can enjoy if you've never seen a Superman, or if you've read Birthright, For All Seasons, All-Star, and Lex Luthor, Man of Steel, which I highly recommend this week, which I have done this week, and that enhanced the experience, but it wasn't a mandate. This is for absolutely everyone, and it is so important and so big. And James Gunn, thank you for writing and directing the Superman that I never thought we'd get. Thank you, David Cornsweet, for being the Superman I've always wanted. Thank you to Warner Brothers for this incredible event.
He's glazing a little bit,
for
Joe.
watching this video. I'm going to do a much longer spoiler full review. I'm a little overwhelmed and kind of inarticulate with emotion. It's my favorite movie of the year, and it's one of my favorite superhero films of all time.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite comic book adaptations ever. And it is a movie that I didn't think could exist that now does. And I'm ever so grateful. And I am a bit more hopeful for it. And I'm a bit better for it. So, Superman, July 11th.
Bloody breathe, Coy.
Breathe. Breathe, darn you.
That's really, it's really good. It's how I expected Coy to react, to be honest, because it felt like it was everything that he was gonna love. To be honest, it definitely was. But yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy he's happy. But I keep hearing Birthright being mentioned, and I've not heard this comic been mentioned. But it came out, the paperback, the small versions they've been doing DC. It's out right now, so I might quite give it an order, but it won't be here till after Superman. But I'd be interested. Yeah,
there's the dude.
Yeah. Let's watch one more, and then I think I'm gonna head off because then you gotta get ready to go and see Superman.
Yeah, I get to see it in 3 hours, dude.
Dude, that's so cool.
Oh
so
man.
Cool. I mean, I won't
watch.
I mean, I won't be able to jump on tomorrow. I'm just trying to think. Like, I might do
I'm doing a live tonight, like a raw reaction. So.
Well, I'm definitely gonna be.
Just tune in if you can. I know.
If I get up early.
Okay.
I'll definitely tune in, but I'll catch up anyway on my drive. But yeah, no, I really hope you enjoy it, man. Like I'm looking forward to seeing what you say about it. But I'm ecstatic. I mean, I haven't shown this in my recent videos, but I've even got a Superman shelf over here now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, can you see it?
There it is. Let me see.
Yeah. So you got the McFarlane statue here. I mean, look how cool this is. So I've got the McFarlane
86.
figure. And then I'll get the
with 102 reviews.
86.
Yep. That's a dub.
There you go.
Let me see. There you go.
Look at that stand.
Yeah, that's sweet.
That's pretty sweet.
I'm gonna be Joe. I'm gonna be on your show, right, for the review, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a pre-recorded like review, but then I'm gonna do like a post review like on the weekend.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and get you into that, but we'll sort out times and everything, like because we're so. I mean,
probably perfect around the time that we did this, right?
Yeah, this is actually perfect timing. So
like,
I mean,
like 3:10, 3:15.
So it's 9 p.m. where I am now, and then
so it'll be 8. Yeah, so it'll be 8 around that when we started.
Yeah, so that'll be Saturday still, won't it? Yeah.
I'm seeing it again on Saturday, actually. So
are you actually? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be going to the drive-in, but that's the only movie I'm going to be seeing. So.
Oh yeah, you're doing the drive-in, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I will definitely sort something though, but I'll give you a text and say what about this time and everything, and we'll sort something out. But yeah, I want to do like a post review show whilst the dust has settled. after one day over here anyway. It's so weird that we're not getting, like, over here we've only been shown, like, exclusively, like, to some people been shown the first 30 minutes, but no midnight premieres, no, because
Right.
the Batman, because it was filmed in the UK, we got it 3 days early before you guys.
Oh.
But now you
Well,
guys get Superman.
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
You watch Creature Commandos yet?
Say again?
Did you watch Creature Commandos yet?
It's not out yet.
Oh yeah, it drops to 11th, right?
Yeah, I think it was 11th. I'm just gonna double check now. I'm trying to think if there's like
So
for the
try
last.
to watch that before you get to when are you seeing it again?
Superman. I'm
Really?
seeing it on Friday.
So the 11th. Dang it.
Yeah.
When are they gonna drop that for you?
Oh, they're saying the first 2 episodes is out now
Go watch it, Joe.
at 2 wait a minute, 2 a.m. So it's 2 a.m. this morning. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll double bill it. I'm trying to think whether I should.
They're really short, honestly, but they're really entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, so the
20 minutes, about 20 minutes a piece.
So yeah, debut in the UK today. Yeah, so 2 episodes are out, and then I don't know when they just drop everything, because over here, like,
Right.
because it's so late,
They
they
usually
usually
drop
just drop
everything.
it all.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know if they do. But I'll definitely watch the first 2, maybe tonight. Actually, I might have some time to watch it tonight. But yeah, no, that'd be cool, man.
It's long, dude. I can't believe you've been on this show. It's awesome that you're here, and you know it's been a long time coming to Superman. You know.
Yeah, man. I mean, just every time we want to do a live together and everything, it just doesn't work out because our times
Because
are
of time zone.
so,
yeah.
and also I'm doing stuff. But today you literally caught me at the right time, and I was thinking today, I was like, wait, I think Derpy is technically going to see Superman today. Like, just I was like, and the jealousy came in then, and then, but I'm so excited for you, man. Like, that's so cool. You're getting to see
Like I
it
said,
early.
I gave you questions. I'm gonna answer them. And then,
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I thank you for doing that, because that actually, keeps
and
the
then
spoiler
one final,
territory right.
and then one final thing, I'll say: look up or look down. For
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
I mean,
You
if I wake up tomorrow and you've messaged me, look down.
Yeah.
I'll probably feel I'll be like, I'm so sorry. But it's gonna be cool.
But who do
yeah.
you want to watch? Who do you want to watch before we go?
I don't know. Let me. I'm just gonna scroll through YouTube really quickly and just see if there's anywhere you can play on your side.
Let me see if there's anybody.
Can we try? Can we? Oh wait, Free C. Have we done Free C?
No, that's who I was looking up.
Should we do Free C to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's do that.
Nice one.
He's a good dude.
He really is. Like, yeah.
He got to go to the premiere last night.
Man.
Here it is. 16 minutes.
James Gunn's Superman is.
Okay, well, here we go. He's a good dude.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, I'm so excited. Like,
One of the
see
first
what's.
movies in his new DC cinematic universe. This time around, we are following David Cornsweet as Superman early in his career, when out of nowhere, Lex Luthor cooks up a scheme to ruin the reputation of the Man of Steel, making Superman now wonder if he is the man of hope he always thought he was.
Okay.
And that's all pretty much it. Like, any spoilers, you guys, this will be a spoiler-free review. I can't believe I'm reviewing Superman now. It felt like it was just yesterday, 2 years ago,
Exactly,
where we got
Joe.
the announcement of the movie being rebooted. David Cornsweet as Superman getting announced, getting that first look photo of the suit, set photos, the trailer, all of it has been a journey. And James Gunn's Superman
Still
was
think it's
my
the worst
most
first look we
anticipated
ever
movie
got.
of this
It
week.
is.
I've mentioned on the channel already, I'm not
Yamcha
even the
Bros.
biggest Superman guy. I didn't exactly find the character all that interesting growing up, but for some reason, with the build up to this movie, I just found myself more and more looking forward
That's
to
me.
a new iteration of Superman on screen. So it was only just a huge cherry on top when I got invited to the red carpet world premiere, which I do want to disclose off top. Not because I'm paid by a studio or have some sort of agreement with Warner Brothers. That is not true at all, but I am aware being in that environment, you get on a high. I get excited. Like, come on, I'm just a dork who turned on a camera, does cringy things, and because of you guys who watch, I'm able to do something cool like that. Of course it's gonna put me in a really
really good mood to see a movie I was already really excited for, but it does not set my review in stone and already determine, oh, I'm gonna love the film. No. That's part of the reason why I did an At a Theater reaction, is to kind of get that off my chest, that excitement, that feeling of hype from getting to do something that I think is like a bucket list item, but now I've sat with the movie. I've thought about it for a couple of hours, and I'm gonna be really honest on what I thought worked in this movie and what I thought didn't work all that much.
Uh-oh.
Starting off with things I did really love about this movie is David Cornsweet as Superman. This is going to be the absolute best part of this movie, is his iteration of Superman. I've mentioned before on the channel, I never grew up as a big Superman fan. I found the character kind of boring. And if I'm being perfectly honest with you, it wasn't really until Henry Cavill's Superman that I was like, oh, dude, Superman's kind of cool.
Oh, give me a
but
second,
what
Joe.
James
I gotta
Gunn
call
and David Cornsweet has done with this iteration of Superman, it takes all those
You hear me?
boring
Give me a
tropes
second, I
that
gotta
he
call.
has of being
Yeah,
a
no
good
worries.
Boy Scout, wanting to protect people, having this really corny vibe where he'll literally say things like golly or what the hey dude, actually come off charming, appealing, and so dang admirable. This is a Superman I want to see so much more of, because I was just grinning so hard at everything he was doing, from the speeches he would give to his fight scenes to the morals he has in this film. Like, yes, this is what Superman should be on screen. And jumping off that point, the way James Gunn directs this movie and with how dynamic a lot of those action scenes are, it's sometimes really mesmerizing to look at. I know there's been a lot of hot takes about the actual cinematography and look at the film. I do think overall it's a very beautiful but exciting movie to look at. Not gonna lie, yes, there are a handful of shots that still end up looking a little wonky to me, but for the most part, the way James Gunn was having the camera move in the action scenes during a lot of the big spectacle stuff, it gave a lot of flavor and personality to this Superman and the DCU as a whole. And part of that flavor and personality is not being embarrassed or afraid to embrace its comic book side. I know we hear this a lot with a bunch of other movies where it's like, oh, this movie's like a comic book brought to life, or this is very comic booky. That type of statement has never been more true than in James Gunn's Superman movie. This is literally comic book storytelling, structure, events, characters, situations, all brought to life in a way I don't really think we've seen before. It fully leans into the fantastical, crazy, wacky side of comic books. And as awesome as that is, I do wonder how some people are going to take that, because it is not going to hold your hand. It is not going to be forgiving to casual viewers or people who aren't that well versed into just comic books. When it comes to some of the supporting cast members of this movie, I was really fond of Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. She definitely has great chemistry with David Cornsweet and their scenes together, whether it's her and Clark Kent or her and Superman. That energy is so well captured, but not even just in their love dynamic, but the way the characters are portrayed. We've seen little glimpses of that conversation where Lois Lane is
Sorry, I got a call
interviewing
from the
Superman.
the friend that I'm taking
scene
with.
that starts off
Yeah, no
really
worries, man.
playful, but then quickly turns
He just
into
got
a
off work,
defense
so.
mode situation
Nice.
is played so wonderfully, and it lets you know James Gunn does understand these characters. And it's that type of understanding of them that made someone like Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor really stand out. Because aside from David Cornsweet, he is also the thing I really loved about this film. This man is the king of haters, and the way Nicholas Holt is able to come off with these really crazy facial expressions, whether it's subtle or very exaggerated, oh man, this is a great Lex Luthor. And it was so refreshing in a comic book movie to lean into that I'm evil because I'm just evil persona without it coming off cliche or one-dimensional. I think people are even going to get a huge kick out of the Justice Gang, because I thought they were very well used in the movie, and I don't think they at all take away from Superman's story. I know that's something a lot of people were afraid of in this movie, that those supporting characters would make it feel like
They're kind of there to
Superman and
establish the
Friends,
world,
but no,
though,
I
aren't
still
they?
argue this is
Yeah.
a Superman movie, and these characters only help support Superman's story and arc. But as far as individual moments, they all get a time to shine. Mr. Terrific, a character I just only got introduced to when he was announced for this movie. Oh, dude, what a badass. Eddie Gathegi gets a really cool scene that I think is most reminiscent to a lot of needle drop James Gunn moments. There's not a lot of needle drops in this movie. It's mainly carried by its score, but a moment like you would find in Guardians of the Galaxy where music would drop and you'd get a cool action scene to pair along with it, that's Mr. Terrific scene, and it's terrific.
Oh no, not fan forced it.
Guy Gardner, I'm not gonna lie,
Not
I
Fan
never
Four
got the
Stick,
hype
dude.
with Guy Gardner. I'm a
Someone
big
asked
Green
me the other
Lantern
day,
fan,
should
and
I
I
watch
cannot
Fan
wait for the
4
Green
Stick? And
Lanterns
I
to
went,
get that redemption
no.
arc,
No.
and people can stop seeing them as a joke
Not
just
worth
because
it.
of the Ryan
No
Reynolds
way.
movie. And I didn't think Guy Gardner was the right introduction. Oh, but there's going to be a lot of people coming out saying,
I got that shirt
love
ready
Guy
to
Gardner,
go,
and I want
Joe.
more of him. Not only is Nathan
Wearing
Fillion
it
right
actually
now.
pretty funny in the role, and although he has that ridiculous bowl
What'd you
cut,
say?
when he is
said I got
using
that
his
shirt he's
Green
wearing right
Lantern
now. I'm wearing him
powers
right
and
now.
unique
You're ready.
abilities in situations
I got
fighting
the
bad
cape
guys,
on there.
Don't forget the
it
cape,
just
yeah.
makes you want to see more Green Lantern stuff, and that's all I could ask
I'm hoping
for, 'cause
some
I
people
was
are
happy just
cosplaying it.
seeing that ring
I'm
conjure
sure
up
there are.
all
With the
sorts
costume,
of
you
crazy
know what I mean?
stuff. Isabella Merced, although great, I think does get the short end of the stick
So I can
in
take
terms of the
pictures.
Justice Gang. She gets her moments
Cool.
too, but she feels a little less included than the rest of the group. I'm also pretty pleased with the amount of Crypto. I was so afraid they were going to over rely on Crypto's inclusion in the movie. Like, I was happy to have him there, but I didn't want it to be an easy, oh, look at the cute furry creature, let me just love on you character in the movie. He's used the right amount in terms of humor, cuteness, and awesome action scenes. Another subtle standout that I kind of wish we had more time with, Ma and Pa Kent. Oh, dude.
Brilliant.
I love these parents for Superman. So adorable, sweet, and I think they really serve as the heart of this movie and actually even got me emotional. But it does also make for some bold choices, and really that's the most applause I can give, is a lot of bold choices made in this movie. I don't think many people can go in and say, oh, that was a pretty safe generic Superman. Oh man, this is a very wacky, unique take on the character. Although it's trying to emulate those early Christopher Reeve vibes, and David Cornsweet does do that as Clark and Superman, everything else around them is so wildly different to what we expected. Even from what we were seeing from the trailers, it still felt so unexpected when actually seeing it all in context. There's honestly so much more other little things I want to gush and praise on the movie, like with Metamorpho, the really great use of the score by John Murphy and Dave Fleming. It's not just with Superman, but Lex Luthor's score I thought was great, and it does help elevate a lot of the moments, especially in those action scenes. But I kind of really want to get onto some of the things that I was mixed and negative on. So yes, I do think this is a great Superman movie, and looking at it overall, it worked for me and left me happy. But man, there are a couple of things in there that I'm just like, oh, no, that was a choice. That's interesting. For one, getting back to that comic booky vibe,
I sent
that
you
is
my
a positive
link
for
to the
me,
live
but to
reaction.
a lot of people out there, that much
Cheers, dude.
embracing of the comic book world will be a bit of a turnoff to them. From the moment James Gunn's Superman starts, you are dead smack in the middle of the DCU. This movie almost feels like it's the sequel to David Cornsweet's Superman, and this could have been his second or third movie. The opening has
Wow.
a really great introduction into the overall DCU and how long David Cornsweet's Superman has been around in Metropolis and all that, but it literally puts you in so much of the middle of the action and hits the ground running that you do feel not lost, but you feel like, oh my god, slow down, so much is happening right now. And that
Wow.
leads me into saying something that we feared did end up becoming true, and that the movie is overstuffed. It is a little bloated, not because there's too many characters. No, like I said, I still stand by the Justice Gang having the right amount of screen time, having a good part in the movie that didn't overshadow Superman. But even putting them aside, it's the amount of ideas and things that are thrown into this Superman movie that make it feel like a really crammed film. That's where it felt like a comic book come to life, where you're jumping panel to panel with, oh, kaiju monster introduced, intergalactic being here, a secret Lex Luthor prison, bunch of other side characters like Engineer,
Nope, spoiler.
Metamorpho, a little green alien
Aw,
named Baby
man.
Joey. Like, it's a lot
Oh,
to
spoiler.
throw at you. And I think for like comic book fans, they'll be able to accept it and understand, because it's
La,
like,
la,
oh,
la,
this
la,
is
la,
kind of like what
La,
a
la,
comic
la,
book
la,
would be,
la,
just
la.
throwing out everything as long as it fits into the theme and what's happening in the story. But I think to a casual viewer that doesn't know any of these characters, doesn't know any of this, is gonna feel very like, wait, what? What's happening? What? How? Okay. And sometimes watching the movie, it feels like you'd benefit from doing some homework beforehand watching the movie, learning a little bit of what Guy Gardner's like, what Mr. Terrific is like, Metamorpho the Engineer, which I did do before the movie because I make videos on this stuff for y'all. So that built-in knowledge only helped me enjoy and understand the crazy things that were happening. But it can feel a lot sometimes, and with the movie trying to pack in so much, a lot of really strong moments, critical points, or emotional beats don't get that time to breathe. There's a real heartfelt and sweet moment between Clark and his parents, and it feels like that is kind of the focal point of the whole movie, but with how much else is
I
going
got
on.
another
It
phone call.
feels like
Hold
a
No
minor
worries.
subplot. Same thing with like Ultraman. You know, we've all been wondering like, hey, who's behind
Still got
that
5 minutes
mask?
of this.
What's going on there? And the movie doesn't really treat that like the biggest mystery. And even when it does get revealed who is behind the mask, it's kind of explained away in almost a sentence or two, and the movie has to keep going because so much else is going on. And that's where it does kind of lead me into say, I would argue this could possibly be James Gunn's messiest script. Every other line of dialogue in this movie is a lore or exposition dump to fill you into the DCU. And for a handful of those lines, I don't mind because it's necessary information just to get us into the context and to help out those casuals who aren't all into the comic book life, but it does come off sometimes a little clunky or forced. Honestly, it's going to be a movie that doesn't work for everybody. I don't think it's going to be a super divisive movie where like you either love it or you hate it. We know there's a group of people out there that have already made up their minds on this movie and we're going to hate it no matter what happens in it. But there's also going to be a decent amount of people that walk out, I think, slightly disappointed or just so unexpected with how the movie turned out, they're underwhelmed. And a lot of fans who are going to walk out loving or embracing this movie thinking it was awesome are going to be quick to be like, you're just a cultist and that's why you don't like it, when no, I think I could honestly see why some people it just wouldn't work for them, and that's okay. It's a lot to take in, and I kind of wish James Gunn didn't feel the need to throw so much into the movie. Because one of the things I complained about with the DCEU back in the day is how quickly they rushed into building their cinematic universe, putting the Justice League together, having Doomsday, do all these storylines all in one movie. It's not that James Gunn is rushing towards a Justice League movie, but he's definitely building a lot in one movie when I feel like removing a subplot or two could have helped with a lot of the things in this movie. But even with those nitpicks and things that I am mixed, and there are even other parts that I'll have to say for spoilers that I'm kind of iffy on, the highs of this movie, how great David Cornsweet was, those awesome action scenes,
What
and
I miss?
even just that comic booky feel
You were just
of
talking
this
about
DCU,
like
it makes me excited to see what's next, or
it's
to see
kind of
more
like
this
overstuffed
universe
still and
grow
everything,
out and
but
what it could look like 5
now
years
he's
down the
saying
line. And to
it's
answer
so
your
much
question,
fun.
I liked it enough to
So
see it again,
Yeah.
which
you
I'm
kind of
actually doing
surpassed that.
tonight at
You
the
gotta go
fan
past that.
screenings that Amazon Prime is holding. And I am going to be curious whether those
Yep, that's
issues
what I'm
only
doing
grow
tonight.
for me the second time
You
around,
lucky,
or I just enjoy the
lucky
ride and love it
person.
even more than I already do. So when it comes to James Gunn's Superman
Let's see what
movie,
he
I'm
rates
going to
it.
give action 4 stars. I think
Okay.
there's some really great dynamic action scenes. I love James Gunn's camera work in those moments.
Comedy's
and
probably
for
like
the
a
most
3.
part, I think the CGI does look great, but there are a couple of wonky shots that do kind of stand out. Comedy in the movie, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It
Yep.
does have that James Gunn signature humor. It's not as crude and gross. It definitely is with Guy Gardner, but that's how he is as a character. But I don't think it's an overbearing amount of humor, and I'll also say there were a couple of jokes that just didn't end up working for me. Drama in the film, I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I really wanted more of that emotional punch and more of a focused narrative. What this really is a ton of different subplots just stuffed into one film, all kind of having an overarching theme. It really does feel the most like a cartoon episode come to life, for better and worse, but I still enjoyed where the story ended up, and by the time the credits rolled, I was smiling and close to tears. But I do think it could have benefited from just not having so many ideas thrown into it. Suspense the movie, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. This is a hopeful, bright Superman. It's kind of predictable where some things will go, but because of how zany and wacky some stuff gets, there is a little uncertainty sometimes seen to scene. When it comes to the 3 C's, I think cinephiles are going to be the ones that most enjoy James Gunn's Superman movie. I think casuals will actually be a little indifferent with the movie, and also with how quickly it moves, introducing you to what's already going on in this DCU. It's a lot. Like if this movie was an episode of a TV series, it wouldn't be the pilot. This would be like episode 5 of season 10. While critics are also going to be really harsh on the pacing and just the
I think kids are gonna
overbloatedness
love
of
this film.
movie.
I
Still,
really
with all
do.
that said,
Yep.
Superman
Because
left me
like
very
he says,
happy
like, you
and
just drop
hopeful
into
with
it.
what's
Kids are gonna
next.
love
I
that.
really think David Cornsweet's
And
Superman
that's what
is
they
going
want.
to be a lot of people's new Superman, and so for me, I think it's a movie not just worth watching in theaters, but also worth adding to your personal collection.
Ooh, Joe.
I really cannot wait to talk
Yeah, that's
spoilers, guys.
Steelbook.
There is 2 post-credit scenes, and if I'm going to be completely honest with you, you can stay for the very first one that happens in the mid-credit. I don't think
Okay.
it's necessary to stay for the last one. We're going to talk so much
Okay.
more in spoilers, though, whenever the movie releases, and there is a lot to talk about. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films, or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.
Great review.
James Gunn's Superman.
No, not again.
Brilliant. No, not again. No, brilliant. Or like he's excited and everything, man. Like it's yeah, I mean, I'm very hopeful, very optimistic about the film. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I don't know. We don't know. You're going to find out in less than 3 hours, but I'm going to find
Yes.
out in 3 days, 2 days. So still got a while to go. But,
87 with 105 reviews.
87. Oh, nice.
That's the Superman the movie's at an 86.
Oh, wow.
So 87. If it stays there or higher, it's the best Superman. Critically acclaimed.
Damn. So cool.
Dude, can you believe we're here, man?
No, I can't. I mean, how are you feeling?
I'm excited. I'm nervous just because what if it isn't good? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it's James Gunn. There's a track record of films that I'm pretty positive that this film is gonna, be good.
Yeah.
But like it's so surreal that it's already here.
I
You
know.
know?
It's like, well, we're going to blink and world's finest is here.
Right.
Or Supergirl. Which is, yeah, it's insane. But
I'm
it's weird,
excited
isn't it? Because we have Superman.
I'm excited for Supergirl too.
Yeah, no, I love the comic. Like, I read it over a couple of days, and I was like, "This is brilliant." I was like, "I hope the visual references are like similar to the in the film."
Right.
That looks so good. But do you know what's really weird is like we're starting with Superman, DCU, technically Creature Commandos and that, but literally next month we're going to Peacemaker,
Right.
and then I
And
think
then
we go Lanterns, which
yeah,
is
and
going to
then-
be insane. I can't picture Guy Gardner being in Lanterns at the moment.
Right.
But I'm sure once after seeing this film and everything, and also what's after Lanterns is Supergirl. Like
Yep.
it's just the DCU is just building and building, and I think we're gonna know. I still believe. I know you don't, not fully on board with this, but I still believe they're deciding what to do with Robert Pattinson's Batman. I have a feeling. I do. I just have a feeling.
You have a feeling?
Yeah, I just have a feeling if they're like, oh, should we continue Robert? Or, well, we'll do part 2 and that's it. Or do we continue doing more of the Batman stuff and just leave Batman out of the DCU for a bit? But I just, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot riding on the Superman movie. There is, in terms of like, for the Warner Brothers execs to go, right, we want Robert Pattinson in the DCU, or we want a new Batman in the DCU, or this and that and everything. What works, what doesn't work. So I'm interested to see what, like, after this film comes out, the next couple of months leading up to Christmas is going to be really interesting.
Dude, we made it.
Made it.
We made it, dude. Is there any? Where can they find you, Joe?
They can find me at That's Just Joe on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter as well, and that's just at That's Just Joe again. And I make loads of videos, and Derpy is #1 fan. So yeah, and he's always in the live streams and everything. But we're gonna definitely do more of this when we can actually align everything, like just align everything and talk about everything. So yeah, it's yeah, you can find me there. But thanks for hosting this, Derpy. This has been awesome.
Yes, Joe. Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man.
Nice.
You're the best in the biz.
No, don't be that. No, I appreciate it, Duffy, and enjoy the movie.
Yes, I'm gonna do my best to enjoy this movie, but we can only see.
We'll see. We'll see tonight. Well, I'll see. I'll see in the morning.
Yeah. Just make sure you watch Creature Commanders, Joe.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get start one episode in the next hour or so, and then maybe jump on Ep 2. But I'll let you know what I think.
All right, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, stay derpy, my friends.